Good morning, students. Can you able to see the screen? Good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, good morning. What we are discussing in the previous class? Which topic we were discussing? The screen is visible. PPT screen is shared with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, which topic we discussed in the previous class? Any idea? The last class we started with pointers. How to declare a pointer, how to initialize a pointer. Then we discussed null pointer. What is null pointer? What do you mean by null pointer? Any idea? What is null pointer? Any doubt with the respect to the pointers? Aminish? CS 185. Okay, all of you answer your attendance. I will check at last also I will check how many of you, the timing will be created, how long you stayed in the Zoom class. Okay, Vishwaraj, Jadeja, Chaudhary, 134, Diksha, Sai Ganesh, Dilip Kumar, Anupama Kumari, Jagadish, Viswajit, Disha, Azil, Animesh, Venkat, Nilesh. So we started with pointers. We discussed how to initialize a pointer variable, how to declare a pointer variable. Then we discussed a special pointer called null. While initializing the pointer, if you give the null, the keyword null, capital, all in capitals, to the pointer variable, then that variable is called null pointer. In which scenario we'll make use of null pointer? If you don't know which variable we are going to assign for the pointer variable, in that case, we will assign the initial pointer variable as null pointer. We'll use the keyword null. Instead of assigning star ptr equal to address of a or address of x, we will say null. It means that we don't know which variable we are going to assign to the pointer variable. And if you use a double, then we discussed a small program with how to use pointers. Then we discussed the points to remember while using the pointers. So while declaring a pointer, we will use the star or asterisk before the variable name. It differentiates the normal variable from pointer variable. While declaring normal variable, we won't use any special symbol, just we will specify the name. While declaring a pointer variable, data type for space followed by, you will have the asterisk or star or ampersand that is asterisk will be used, followed by the variable name. If your variable is prefixed with asterisk, it means the variable is a pointer variable. So the asterisk differentiate a normal variable from pointer variable. And the pointer variable can hold only an address of the another variable. We cannot store normal values. In pointer variable, we can store only the address. The address will be in the form of hexadecimal value. And to access the content of the pointer variable, if you say star the content, then it will display the content of the pointer variable. Then the next topic is different ways of assigning pointers. We have three different types. Pointer to pointer called double pointer. It will have two asterisk or two star symbol before the variable name. The second way is using a pointer to array, pointer to functions. The previous class we discussed how to make use of, how to create and represent double pointer, pointer to pointer. Say here, pointer name is an double pointer. So we used two star before the variable name. If it is one pointer, one asterisk, it is normal pointer variable. If it is double star, it is a pointer to pointer. Here, this pointer to pointer will store address of another pointer variable. A pointer variable will store address of normal variable. Pointer to pointer double pointer will store the address of another pointer variable. So here we used normal variable A. The normal variable A address is stored in single pointer P1, and we have one more pointer, double pointer star star P2. The star star P2 holds the address of pointer variable P1. Our next way of using pointer is pointer to array. So pointer to array means we can use a pointer to point to an array, and then we can use that pointer to access the array elements. We know array is collection of same type of data elements. So it is a row of elements or a fixed length of elements. So in that case, it will have the pointers will be used to store the starting address of the array element. It means if the array length is 10, 10 continuous memory locations will be allotted for the array to store all the 10 elements. The starting address will be stored in the pointer. Through that, by incrementing the pointer positions, we can access the next successive elements. Here, how we are using, we declared a pointer variable P star P. So it is pointer variable. This pointer variable stores an array. Here, array means we don't miss, we can specify it may be a normal array or it may be an array of 0 length. Assuming that the base address of the array is 1000, so the address of the array element starts from 1000 and each integer requires 2 bytes. The 5 elements will be stored as follows. So here they are declaring pointer variable P equal to address of array of 5. So the array will take array of 0, array of 1, array of 2, array of 5. So it means two memory locations will be allotted for each and every array element because array is integer element. So the array address starts from 1000, and the second element stored in 1002, third element in 1004, fourth element in 1006, fifth element in 1008. So the starting address 1000 will be assigned to pointer variable. Say here we have an example program, int a of 5. Our array is a of 5, an integer array of 5 elements. The elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have a pointer variable star P. The star P is assigned to address of A. So the array A is as starting address is assigned to pointer variable P. So using for loop star I for I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, printf %d star P. So here P is pointer variable and it is holding the address of array A. Star P means the content of array. Content of array means the starting address is 1000. 1000 content is the first element 1. 1002 content is the value 2. 1003 content is value 3, 4 like that. So here instead of displaying the array, displaying the values through the array name A, we are displaying through the pointer. Through the address we are displaying. Got the idea how we are using a pointer to an array. So as usual, we will declare an array and the starting address of the array will be assigned to a pointer variable. And by incrementing the array positions, we will do the processing with the array. . 。  . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . . . . 。 . . 。 . . . 。 . . 。 . . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Any doubt in how to use an array to represent to store the address of a pointer variable? Screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Our within main program, we have an array called a of 5, and our pointer variable star p. It takes the address of array A, and the array elements are displayed by using star p means content of p. So if while running, we will come to know how it functions. So while displaying, the content of array is 1, 2, 3. So content of p is address. Content star p means the content of the address. Say for example, if you are giving the value as here 1, 1. So if you display, it will display 11, 12, the content. Instead of star p, if you say p, it will what it will display? Instead of star p means the pointer variable's content. The pointer variable is having the address. The address content is the values. Instead of specifying content of p star p, if you say simply p, what it will display now? If you compile now, any idea? P is pointer. Pointer is p means pointer variable. Pointer variable variable is address only. If you say star p, address or content of the pointer. If you say p now, it will display the address. Its address is here. The starting address is 44844. It is in minus. So 2 bytes are allotted. So the starting address is it's going in reverse order. 448444. 4 bytes are allotted. So if you once again run, it will show some other memory address. So previously it was in the minus locations, that particular memory location. Wherever the memory is free, that location it will take. So now it's displaying some other address. The same way, instead of p, if you say the array A, it will display the values 11, 12. Because here we are mentioning A. So what is A now? Instead of saying A, we have to say what is the error in this. If you like to display the array content, we have to specify the address. The addresses are in the index positions, I. If you say A of I, then only the content 11, 12 will be displayed. Got the idea? Because A is an array. If you use pointer, if you are storing 1000 values or 100 values or 45 values, just one P is enough to access all the elements. No need to remember each and every array address and each and every array value. But if you go with doing the process with normal array, we have to access through the index only. Previously, we mentioned just A, it displayed the addresses, the A variable address. While during accessing A of I, it may represented the first variable's address. So just if you say A, it will display the address. Say it's the same address. It's the same way. If you use, we can check whether the same address is used. So we can use one more printf statement with P. Now P and A both are same. Why? Because P also represents the address. A also represents A. If you say A of I, then only the content of the array index position I will be accessed. If you say just A, it will show only the memory locations. Say it's displaying the same memory locations. So instead of this, here we'll have one more printf statement so that it will be displayed in separate. Got the idea? To differentiate how what is array, what is content of array, what is address of array, what is point, if you say pointer, what it will display, if you say content of pointer star p, what it will display, if you say address of p, what it will display, you should remember. Yeah, because what we have to do, we have to do it after this. Then also it will display the same memory locations. Got it? Now P and A both are same only. If you say star P, then it will show the address, content of P. And if you want to access A of I and star P both are same. Then it will display the 11, 12 because it's displaying two times. We put both in the same loop now, so it's displaying continuously. First it displaying star P, then it displaying. So if you instead of here we will use pointer. Here if you say array, will come to know. It's displaying 11, 11 is pointer and 11 is array, 12 like that. Got the idea? The same way if you say address of P, this address of P, we put both in the same for loop, so it's we'll put it in separate. So if you answer something, then only I can explain you. If you are not answering, how I can understand you people understood the concept or not. Then I'll for your understanding, I will repeat the concept twice. And according to my understanding, I will explain. If you can't able to understand something, if you want more explanation, you should ask, you should raise some question. Then only I can proceed along based on your interest. So if you run now, here now what we are doing is, the first for loop we are displaying address of P. So address of P is the pointer's address. Here A of I, the values. So here if you say A and if you say just P, both will say have the P will have the address and A will also show the address. Both will be the same value. Now in between these two, it will show some space. So you got the idea? Both P as well as A, both represents the same addresses. You say star P is content of P and A is the address. So it will show the content of P and here it will show the address. And here if you say A of I, then only the array's memory location content will be displayed. If you say A of I, the values, that is 11, 12, 13, 14. Got it? Any doubt with respect to what is what is pointer, what is star P, content of P, address of P? Say the same way if you say address of A of I. In this case, here star P means content. Here address of K means A of i's address, A of 1's address, A of 2's address, A of 3's address, the memory location's address. Here P is also the address. Now both will be same. P means the arrays addresses, because the pointer is holding the address of arrays. And here we are saying address of A of I. So address of A of I is the array elements address. Array elements address is stored in the pointer. You got it? If you say A means A of I means the values, address of A of I means the content. So in this way, we can make use of we can assign a pointer to an array. Yeah, array can be assigned to one pointer, and the array can be processed through the pointer variable. The same way, we can use a pointer to function also. So we already discussed user-defined functions, function with return value and with arguments, function with without arguments, without return value, function with arguments, no return value, function without argument with return value. 4 types. That is user-defined functions. For those functions also, while calling and returning the values, we can make use of pointer. So that is called call by reference. When a function is called with pointer, that is called call by reference. Instead of passing normal arguments, we are passing the pointer variables. Pointer as a function parameter is used to hold the addresses of arguments passed during function call. So while calling a function in the main program, we can pass pointers to the function. With the function, with the pointers, the function will be executed and it will return the value. This is also known as call by reference or pass by reference. While passing pointers to the function and getting the process done is called pass by reference, or calling the function with the pointer variables is called call by reference. When a function is called by reference, any change made to the reference variable will affect the original variable. So if you call the function with the pointer variable, that will do some process. The changes will be reflected in the main program. Say here they given you a simple program. We are doing a swapping of given two numbers. Swapping means exchanging the content of two variables. We taken A and D. The content of A we like to put into B, B to A. So for that purpose, we are using a temporary variable temp. So we did without previously we did without star, that is without pointer, normal variables. We did the process. Now we are doing the process with the help of pointers. So we are using the variables as pointer variable A, pointer variable B, star A, star B, and the processing also done in terms of pointers. So while declaring the function swap, we are initializing the function is going to make use of two pointer variables, star A, star B of integer type. Then in the main program, we are assigning constant values m equal to 10, n equal to 20. The initial value of m and n is displayed. Print of m, print of n. Then we are calling the function swap of address of m, address of n. So while calling the function itself, instead of passing m and n values, actual values, the address of m pointer is address is passed, and the address of n is passed. So we are calling the function with address, call by address or call by reference, passing address of m and n to the swap function. So while calling this function, the control will be transferred from this place to this place. Because while declaring the function itself, we already mentioned we are going to make use of a function called swap that will be defined later. So this is function declaration. Here we defined the function. We are calling the function in main program through the function call. So while calling, no return value, and the addresses of m and n is passed with arguments without return value. The function here it will be called the same way. The function won't return anything. So we mentioned the return type of the function is void. So it will get some address from the main program. It will do the process, but it won't return anything back to the main program. So within the function, the content of A is content of A is transferred to temp, content of B to A, and content of temp to B. Now the content is swapped. A is transferred to B, B is transferred to A. Then after swapping, we are displaying the values of M and N. You got the idea how we are making use of pointer to call and function. The screen is visible to you. The screen is visible to you. So we have the header file. We declared the function. We have main program and the function swap. And within the function, we are calling the function with the address. So if you run the program, the initial value of M and N is 10 and 20. After swapping, the values of M is 20, N is 10. So here we are displaying the values. The initial value of. Any doubt with the call by reference, using pointers to the function? So the initial value of M is 10, N is 20. So after swapping, the values of M is 20, N is 10. Or if you say it is 110, 220, it's displaying. The same way if you, so here instead of saying, because we are using pointers, instead of M and N, here we can make use of the pointers also. Here, here the pointers are or here also we can display the results. No need to anyhow only the two variables are used. The only two variables A and B is there. After swapping, anyhow the values are changed. Simply if you display the message here, it will display the result. No need to transfer the value from function to main program. Instead of displaying the result there, here itself we can display. Here we can block that line. Why it's showing the error? Any idea? Why it's showing there is error now? What is the error in this program now? Abhishek. Instead of displaying the value in the main program, we are displaying the value in the function itself. But it is giving you some error. Why it's giving such error? We used formal variables and actual variables. Formal arguments and actual arguments. So what is the formal argument's name? What is the actual argument's name? Aditya M. One of you answer. I will note down the names who are all answering. For them, definitely there will be some boosting marks. If you're not answering, if you're not responding, I don't know how to explain you the concepts, whether you are understanding or not. How can I understand? Why it's showing a error message now? One of you answer. Aryan, Sai Ganesh and Satya. Both your names are a single name or two names? C Sai Ganesh, CS 147, Satya. Jadeja. Daily you can expect a message from the Jadeja when you are going to stop the class. Diksha. One of you answer why we are getting the error message. we studied formal arguments, actual arguments. The variables used in main function is called formal arguments. The variables used in function are called actual arguments. In main program as well as in function, we can make use of the same variables, or we can use different variables. We use different variables in main program, and in function we'll use two terms: formal arguments and actual arguments. So in the main program, we used the variables as m and n. In the function, what variables we are using?
A and B.
A and B. But here you are using the name m and n. So it will say, I don't know who is m and n. So we have to say here A and B. And what is A and B? Some students will have a different name in school, different name in the house. The same way. So if you say A and B, but A and B is pointer. If you say A and B, what it will display? It will display the content of pointer variable. The content of pointer variable is address or value. Now it will display only the address. Why? Because A and B is address. Because star A means content of pointer, star B means content of pointer. If you say A and B, the A and B values are the addresses only. So it is displaying the address. But if you say, if you like to know the actual value, here also we can, now here we can remove. Here if you remove, it will show you the value. The values. Through this, we are displaying the addresses. Here, because through this, we are displaying the values. So it's going there. So what we have to do? We have to introduce one /n before this, or after this, we have to use /n. So which is executed last, that we should remember. So now it's showing separate. Now the after swapping the address. This is after swapping address. So it's showing nearby. So we have to introduce, here we can introduce /n/n. So then it will come down. After swapping the values here. The values of, so while writing program, if you show the result, execute and show the result, if you use all the /n/t, and wherever you need some label or messaging, then only the end user can easily understand. Otherwise, they need to look for the logic and they will try to understand. While presenting the result, you should present the result in an user-friendly way. The values of m and n. Because the function is called here. So while calling this, these statements will be executed. After executing all those statements, the control will return back to here. Then it will display and then it will stop. So after displaying this message will be displayed. So this message will be displayed after this. Say here, so we gave so many n's, so it's going so low. So we don't want here also we used n. If you use here, you will get gap here. If you use the /n here, you will get some gap. We want gap here only. So got the idea? If you say m and n, the initial values of m and here through these statements, we are displaying the initial value of m and n before swapping. These are the values. These two lines are executed. We are getting this value. After that, we are calling the function. The control will come here. These statements will be executed. Swapping is over. After swapping, these lines will be executed. So it will display these three messages. So we're displaying these three messages. So here we mentioned AB. AB is pointer. So if you say A and B, it will show only the address. If you want to know the content of A and B, then we have to say star A and star B. If you say star A and star B, so during next execution, it will show the swapped values. It won't show the address because we used star A, star B. Content within the pointer memory location, what is the value stored? That will be shown here. So if you see now, it will show the content of pointers. Simply if you say A and B, because A and B is pointers, the addresses will be shown. So it will show the address. And here we are using A and B. They are actual variables. Here we are using M and N. They are formal arguments. So the formal arguments is declared within the main program. So the variable M and N will be visible or known within the main program alone. Those variables we cannot make use here. So we are using the local variables. Within the function, we are using the variables A and B. Those variables A and B will be visible here only. If you use A and B here, it will show error message. This will not appear here. The scope of this variable is within this block. The same way the scope of this variable is M and N is within this block. So we cannot interchangeably use the official name cannot be used in pet name. Pet name cannot be used in official form. Like that. Got the idea? How we are processing? If you are using pointer, the A and B are pointers. The addresses will be stored in the star A and star B. If you say A, the address will be displayed. If you say star A, the content will be displayed. The same way here, if you want to know the address, if you say here address of M, address of N, normal way, here the addresses will be, you will get the same address here also. Now we will check whether this address, we are swapping in terms of the same variable locations. So the star AB is equivalent to address of M and N. If you run now, the same address. Address of N, address of M is this. And the same way AB is the same address. Because AB is equivalent to address of M, address of N. If you say star A, star B, the content of pointers. And the same way, here the variables, normal variables M and N, the values. Got the idea? Because pointers are important. If you understand the logic, then only you can easily write any program. If you not understood what is pointer, what it will store, what is star A, what is address of A, what is stars or A, then only you can easily do any manipulations using pointers. The screen is visible to you. PPT screen. The screen is visible, PPT screen. Yes, so far today we discussed what is pointer, what is null pointer. We revised the concept. What is pointer? How pointer is while using pointer, what are the points we should remember? How to declare a pointer, how to initialize a pointer, how to declare a null pointer, and how to make use of the pointer in 3 different contexts. Pointer to pointer, called double pointer, pointer to array, pointer to functions. The main advantage of using pointer is if you make use of pointer for array, if you make use of pointer for function, the efficiency will be very high. Processing speed will be high, and the memory will be less used because array will be a big collection of variables. If the array may be 10 variables, or array may be 100 variables, or array may be 1000 variables. The size of the array may be 1000. So if the size of the array is 1000, we need to handle all 1000 variables. In that case, instead of referring the variables through the index position, array of 1000, array of 99, array of 199, instead of processing in terms of index, if you use process through array, just through the starting address of the memory location, using pointers, the efficiency will automatically increase. The same way, if you call the function with the pointers, if If you do the processing with the function with the pointers, the call by reference will automatically increase the efficiency, the time complexity and memory complexity. So we have two concepts. Complexity means how the efficient, if the complexity is less, if it occupies less memory space and takes less time to execute the program, instead of taking 50 minutes to execute the program, if it takes only 10 minutes, the overall efficiency will increase. So if you use pointers, the time complexity and space complexity will automatically reduce. Complexity means how much time it takes to execute the program, how much memory it occupies in the during a processor while doing the process. Time and memory plays an important role in increasing the program's efficiency. So this is your last topic in 4th unit. So we are going to start with the next chapter. So any doubt in pointers so far? If you have any doubt, you ask me. We will discuss those doubts. Any doubts with pointers? The screen is visible to you now.
Yes, sir.
See, like school, they are making the kids to switch on the video, and always they are observing the students' activities. They are where they are sitting. Even in some schools, they are asking the kids to wear the uniform and sit before the screen, because you are responsible students. So there is no such rule for college students. So if you answer me, then only I can understand whether the screen, sometimes the screen may not be visible, the screen may not be shared, voice may not be audible, network issue may occur. So if you respond something, then only I can understand whether you understood or not. So what you are seeing in the screen, Sai Ganesh name is a single name. Yes, I think Banerjee answered, we did not wrote int m and int n because we used m and n. We are getting the error. Which screen you are seeing? What is the next topic? Module 5, Unit 5.
Yes, ma'am.
Structures and unions.
Yeah, structures and unions.
Yes, sir.
So yes, our next topic is called structures and unions. So they are structures and unions are user-defined data types. What are the basic data types we have in C programming? The basic or traditional data types: integers, characters, float, double. They are the 4 basic data types. If you take any language, traditional or natural language or our regional languages, we will have alphabets, numbers, and different varieties of alphabets. So based on those alphabets only, we will create the words, sentences, paragraphs, frames, poems, all those things we will create by using the fundamental alphabets. The same way in C programming, C is also a programming language. It is also a language. The language is understandable to the computer machine, while the compiler will know only that language. So we have to give instruction to the C compiler in its syntax and semantics. If you write the sentences, executable statements in C programming, syntax and semantics, then only it will respond you, it will do the process. It will do any complicated process. But if you write the C programming statements, executable statements, without following the syntax and semantics, it will give only error message. So you have to know what are the alphabets is known to the C program, what are the user-defined variables are available, what are the basic data types are available. Using those rules, following the rules and regulations, we have to write the C programming executable statements. The same way, by in C program, we have the 4 basic data types now. By using those 4 basic data types, we can create our own user-defined data types. So far, we used the user-defined data types like arrays, strings, character arrays, strings, and what else we used? Pointers. So they are user defined. Arrays and strings are user defined data types. The same way, we have another another two user defined data types called structures and unions. In arrays, how we will define array? How we can create a user defined data type array? Array is collection of similar type of data elements. Similar type in the sense int a means all the elements in the array. Int array means all the elements in the array will be of integer type. If you say float array, all the elements float array a of 100, all the 100 elements in array a are floating point type. If you say character a name of 50, all the alphabets in name will be of character type, any ASCII character value. So in arrays, we are grouping similar type of variables. We are forming an array. The same way, we can group different types of variables. Say if you take, if you are creating a student structure. In student structure, we will store all the students' information. Say the student information, usually the basic informations like name of the student, USN of the student, department of the student, branch of the, say it's first name, second name, last name, address, phone number, email ID. So these are the basic information about any student. In this case, the name should be of which data type? What is the appropriate data type for name? To store the name, Sai Ganesh, which will be the appropriate data type? It should be a character type, collection of characters. And to store the USN number, what will be the appropriate data type? Your USN number contains, what are the things available in the USN number? 20 BTR CS 134. So 20 means it is a numeral. BTR means characters. CS also character. 134 again number. So it is combination of both numbers and alphabets. So in that case, the USN should be stored in character data type, not integer or floating point data type. Because integer will accept only numbers. BTR and CS cannot be stored. The same way, float also, it cannot be float because we have alphabets. So the appropriate data type for USN number will be character data type. Again, address will also have door number, street name, city name, country name, all those things. So it's combination of both alphabets and numbers and special characters. So it should be again character data type. And if you take your student subjects and marks, students and subject marks can be integer, float, double, or character. Which data type? Student marks will be of 80.5 or 90.2. So it is the marks is in fraction form. So it should be in floating point data. The same way if you're calculating the total. So the total, if it exceeds a particular number of digits, it can be float or long float or double. And if you take the CGPA, A grade A plus, B grade B plus. So in that case, it should be again the character data type. So if you want to create a structure, if you want to store the details of a student with the different fields, name, USN number, marks, subjects, address, email. Again, email is a mixed mode of alphabets and numbers. So it should be again and character data type. Mobile number, it is on 10 digits. It should be double, or it should be long float, or it can be long integer, unsigned long integer. So if you want to create a data type with different types of variables, in that case, we cannot store it in array. So we should create a new data type called structure. So a structure is an user-defined data type in C programming. It is same as array. The only difference is in array we can store similar type of data. In structure we can group different types of data. So in this topic, what are the topics we are going to discuss means structure, definition, and example. So you are going to use structure in your program, how to define and structure, and then structure declaration and initialization. Same as array and string, we have to declare the structure and we have to give some initial value to the structure elements. Then structures written with the structure. So within structure, we can create another structure. So that is called nested structure. So we had different, say nested if, else if ladder. The same way array of arrays. The same way we had what is that? Pointer to pointer. Function within function within function. Function within function is the same function within the same function is called recursive function or nested function. Within one function, we can have another function also. That is called nested function. Within the function, if you call the same function, that is called recursive function. The same way, the pointer stores another pointer variable that is called double pointer or pointer to pointer. The same way, we can have structure within another structure. So that is called double structure. So these are the things we are going to discuss about structures. And we have one more same as structure. We have another data type called unions. Union means it is almost the same as structure, but here only one difference is here in structure, separate memory location will be allotted for each and every structure variables. Say if you take a student structure, it's having character name, character date of birth, character say the address, character email number, long integer, mobile number, say the float marks of 6 to store all the 6 subject marks. So like that we have integer, character, all those data types. If you declare all those variables using structure, separate memory location for name of 40 memory locations will be allotted for variable name. If you say marks of 6 memory locations will be allotted for the field marks. If you say character of address of 80 memory locations will be allotted for address. But if you use unions, the same memory location, only one memory location will be there. In the same memory location, all the variables will be saved. So that is the, in memory allocation only, there is a little difference between structure to union, but both declaration, definition, everything is same in structure as well as union. So while doing the execution, you will come to know, say for example, if you have only, say for example, you have will have only one storage cupboard. So while storing all the books, you will make the shelf in such a way that the big book will be occupied. So in the same memory location, all the variables will be stored, and at a time we can store only one value at a time. We cannot store all the values at a time. The same location, only one memory location will be allotted for all the variables. In that location itself, it will do all the processing. So it means once you come out from the program, the content will be erased. But if in case of structures, you can store the values in permanent memory location using files. So the next data type is called union. Union means it is also a collection of different types of variables. Here we will study programs on structures and unions, how programs can be written by using structures and unions, and how storage classes are used in structures and unions, and how preprocessor directives. Preprocessor directive means we used header files na hash define. The same way we can make use of preprocessor directives hash define to declare the constants and to define some values. So how we can make use of preprocessor directives in our program, that also we are going to discuss. So these are the topics. To take the first topic, we'll see only the definition, then we'll continue in the next class. If you take the definition of a structure is a collection of variables under a single name, and a single name containing multiple elements, members of different data type. Say a structure type is usually defined at the beginning of the program main statement. Say the syntax and example of structure is given here. So how the structure will be defined and how it can be represented means, here they are giving you structure is collection of variables under single name or single name containing multiple elements. So it's nothing but the collection of variables. Collection of variables can be called as array also. But in array, all the variables will be of same type. Here, the collection of variables of multiple elements or different data types. So structure is collection of variables of different data types. So that is called structure. Collection of homogeneous elements is called array. Collection of different types of elements is called structure. Say here we have struct is the keyword, followed by we have the structure name or a tag name. Within opening and closing brackets and semicolon, we will write down all the data type variable names. Data type first variable, data type second variable, semicolons are used. Say for example, here they are taken you student structure. The name of the structure used to define data type is student. The keyword struct says that the variable student is an user defined data type. It is of struct type. Struct type means within the opening and closing brackets, the structure is defined. Here, the first we are grouping variable integer of integer, ID of integer type, name of 20 of character type, percentage of float type. ID is of integer type, name of character type, and percentage of float type. So we are different types of variables grouped into a common name called student. So here the structure student represents and student structure with the student name, student ID, student percentage. So this is the syntax of declaring and structure. While declaring and structure, struct should be there, keyword, followed by the user defined structure name. Within opening and closing brackets, semicolon, we have to mention all the variable names. Like instead of declaring normal, we are grouping into a, it's like while creating a function, we are using now return type function name, opening and closing brackets. We won't put semicolon in function, but within structure, we are putting the opening and end. At the end, we are putting semicolon here.